side. It's Cavallini! Gorgeous!
It's match day, everybody, and let's hope Mother Nature plays nice because it's the final game of the group, and Canada is in a must-win situation. Tonight, they take on a depleted Cuba side. The Canadians have advanced out of the group stage at the last 3 editions of the tournament, and they look to keep that streak alive right here on One Soccer. Let's welcome you inside our One Soccer studio. Matchday Live presented by CIBC. Andy Petrillo alongside Jimmy Brennan and Jordan Wilson. Yeah, that was a pretty empty stadium. They advised fans as well to take cover. The players started warming up in the hallways, but we're keeping an eye as well inside the stadium. And the good news is that it appears the players are now taking to the pitch to do a proper warm-up. We're hearing that kickoff is still on time, so of course we'll keep you updated on if anything gets delayed here, but that is a good sign that they are taking to the pitch. Maybe not such a good sign, but we are going to say that it is because Canada is in a good situation to move forward, but they do need to win. Yes, we're typically hyperbolic here in the world of sports, but this is a must-win situation. That's because they're coming off 2 draws, whereas Guadeloupe and Guatemala do have wins. So here's how it needs to work for Canada. Win, yes, and you're in, but goals will play a factor. So if Guadeloupe and Guatemala play to a 2-2 draw, Canada needs to win by 2 or more goals. If there's an outright winner in Guadeloupe, Guatemala, then it doesn't matter. Canada just needs to win, and the full 3 points will see them through. So I like to play the glass half full, glass half empty game here. So when you look at Canada right now, do you look at this as they still have their destiny in their hands, or do you look at this and say, how could they have put themselves in this type of situation?
Well, I mean, look, they're going to be disappointed really from the 2 previous results, and now having to rely on other teams winning or whatever it may be to help them out. I mean, all they can do now is just focus on this game, score as many goals as they can, and they have to start very, very quick tonight, Jordan, in order to get this 3 points.
They do, and all will be forgotten in the past 2 games if they go out and perform tonight and they score. You could say it was a slow start to the tournament, but the objective for this team was to make it into the next round. If you win by 2, feels like it's a basketball term, like win by 2, but if you win by 2, you make it to the next round. That was the goal all along.
Get a ticket to the dance as well. Doesn't matter how you get into the knockout stage. Just try and get to the knockout stage. Just quickly here a little bit on the weather, because I know that players, you're so particular about your warm-ups, maybe some more than others. I don't know if one of you want to admit.
Oh, I'll admit.
Are you a little bit more superstitious? Like, how does the rain or how does just any kind of weather delay just throw you off a little bit?
I mean, you don't get to do the things you normally do. Like for me, I'd always run across the pitch, maybe spit out my gum, tie my left shoe first. All these weird things, right? Gaff is laughing now. He's like, is this why certain games you're off? Because you didn't do all these things you need to do?
Because we didn't have a proper warm-up? You didn't have enough space?
I didn't spit out the right gum. I had juicy fruit. I should have had dentine. I didn't have all the right things. No, but you can get into that rhythm and maybe be thrown off, but good players always rise to the top. So, yeah, you maybe were warming up inside, but you know what you have to do. You have to take care of business tonight.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it is difficult because it throws you off the rhythm as well. And you saw them warming up inside the stadium, and you're in a small confined space, and there's limitations of what you can actually do. So, you know, you want to get out early, you want to be able to knock the ball around, have a little jog, a little sprint, just to get yourself going and the legs going. So it does throw you off a little bit.
Well, Cuba might be thrown off a wee bit here because they've had 4 players defect since landing in the United States. They have 2 other players who have been suspended for this match. Is there any danger of an upset?
I mean, the ball is round, as Papa Wilson always says. He says it can roll any way it wants. But I don't believe that at all. So I'm going to say my father's a liar right now on air. Look, this should be in the bag for Canada. Go out and start strong, score a goal in the first half. You can take care of this Cuban side. Look, they're the weakest team in the group, by far. So no disrespect to Cuba, but that is a fact. So they just need to go out and run this team from the beginning.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, they've had few players that have left, the others are suspended, the squad's depleted. These guys just want to finish this last game and move on, but it's up to the Canadians. They've got to dictate the game today. They've got to control the tempo. They have to have the urgency, and ideally they've got to score as quick as possible today and not let the game go on further than it should do, because then you're allowing Cuba to get into the game, and then that's when it really gets difficult.
And you can get inside your own head as well, that's for sure. So let's see who John Herdman's relying upon here tonight as we show you the starting 11 brought to you by GE. And I know Herdman even said that after that draw against Guadeloupe, it really affected what he wanted to do with rotation, which is why, you know, we continue to see still a veteran presence. Big change, obviously, in goal. Milan Borjan, we know he's out for the rest of the tournament with injury. He's now gone back to Bratislava, where he will now be plying his pro game. So Dane St. Clair gets between the pipes. You can see Ali Ahmed moving back. You see Miller up top with Cavallini. There's a lot to get into here, gentlemen, because after that game as well against Guatemala, no score, Herdman kept talking about the lack of quality in that final third. So, I mean, you're looking at the attackers right now, but in particular, I mean, how do you score?
You put the ball in the back.
That's great, yeah. But there's other people in your way.
No, I think he was a little bit disappointed when they were getting into those areas in and around the box, but the quality, it wasn't good enough. And they didn't have numbers in the box. And I think today you're going to see it with the tactical change as well. They've gone into that 4-4-2 more or less, but then when they attack, it'll be a box formation, which will allow Oso to get into the box. It will allow Junior Hoyle to get into the box, and Miller as well. So you're going to have numbers up when we get into those areas. So those wide players be able to pick players out now. And I felt Cavallini, he was just a bit too isolated at times in that game. He was by himself. The service wasn't coming in, and he was limited. So expect him to get in the end of certain situations today, because I think there will be overloads in that box.
I think when you play a 3-5-2, you're relying on your wingbacks to get service into the box. I think against Guatemala, the service wasn't good enough. Cavallini was alone. I think when you're playing a 4-4-2, you're asking of a Hoylett or Osorio who are playing on the wing, hey, either you come in and get the ball or you take and beat your man 1v1. Yeah. And then that could just be an extra body or extra number in the box. So I'm hoping that 4-4-2 plan works today, but it just has to be different from the Guatemala match, because too many times I counted over 20, the ball was crossed in, and there was just nothing on it. So hopefully this system could give some support to Cavallini and to Millar up top.
Yeah, I agree with you, because we got to keep in mind as well, the starting positions are going to be higher up the pitch, which allows them to get into the box a lot easier than what it was before, where you know, your wing backs are making 60-yard runs to join the attack. By the time you get to the edge of the box, you're fatigued, you're struggling, then you're coming all the way back. It's a lot of running to do, especially in that weather. You
could just hear his left back, left wing days. He's like, I don't really want to go run 50 yards. I'd rather run 20 at pace. I hear you, though, Gaff. It's true.
Sounds like it's not as easy to score as you were trying to make it seem like at the beginning, Smarty Pants. Let's hear from Junior Hoylett.
Okay, we are here with Junior Hoylett from Canada. Junior, tonight you have a game where you only just need to win to qualify to the quarterfinals. How do you handle the pressure, if we can talk about pressure?
Yeah, of course. It's a must-win game, and this is the kind of pressure we need to help our team grow in this tournament and build the group and have the group come together. We're confident we can go out there and get a result needed to progress into the next stage of this tournament, and we're working hard all week with the group to nullify their chances and get the result needed.
Thank you very much. Very good luck for tonight.
Thank you.
Pressure. I feel like this group knows all about pressure. And we touched a little bit on tactics, 4-4-2. Is there any other player in particular you're keeping an eye on? Bambito, once again, he seems to be trying him in that midfield. As I mentioned, Ali Ahmed coming back. Anything else really stand out to you when it comes to maybe even the new players, the new faces, I should say?
Well, for this match, especially Ahmed playing at left back now, you know, how is he going to play? Also, I'm expecting to drift inside, which is going to allow Ahmed to get up and down that line. And it'll be interesting to see how he does coming from a further distance than what he was used to in the last couple of games, where he's a little bit higher up the pitch, getting at players. So that, for me, I'm going to be looking at that. And same with Lorea on the other side as well. And when you do box, it does help your wing-backs get forward as well, because it gives them a clear path going forward.
Yeah, no, I think with Ali Ahmed, with Vancouver Whitecaps, he gets up and down. He's played that position before. Vanni Sartini trusts him in that position, and he's done well in many games playing there. I think the big one for me is Liam Miller in that 10 role, just finding some gaps to break down this Cuban side, because this is a guy that's been in and around the team but hasn't really had that shot. This is the most I've seen him play consistently. So him being in that 10 position with certain players around him, have an Oso come in or Hoy that you get to link up with, this is a night to show your stuff. and to really relish the role, and I hope that he takes it.
Yeah, I'm hoping he gets in behind as well because he's got great pace, and especially that first 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah,
he's gone, he's explosive. So he's going to have that little freedom role now where he's got to be able to find those little pockets and make those runs in behind, which we were asking for in the last match.
Yeah, to play more vertical, for sure.
Yeah, we need those runs in behind, especially third-man runs as well.
Something else we've been asking for is we wanted to see a different face in goal, obviously not because of an injury to Milan Borjan, but we are going to see Dane St. Clair between the sticks here. If we're talking about Dane St. Clair, though, during this game, we probably have a problem, right?
We have a massive problem if we're talking about Dane St. Clair a little bit too much in this game. That means he's getting peppered.
So it's great that he's getting in. We've wanted to see this new look, but obviously where you'd probably see his chops is more when you start to get into the knockout stage, right? So I don't even, what are we really expecting here from Dane St. Clair tonight?
Honestly, I want to just see like a bit of leadership, just hearing him. And then also, I think a plus for him is that he's really good with his feet. So I want him picking out passes. If he does get the ball played back to him, it's just like, can your pass percentage be high? Can you just lead the line? Show that you're comfortable there. I believe he can do it. Everyone's talking about him. I think now it's just time to show that.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for him. And he's been waiting patiently as well to get this opportunity. And now he has it. And yeah, it could be a game where he's not getting much action. So it's going to be difficult for him. And they're going to be looking at him thinking, okay, you know, is he vocal at the back? Is he controlling the box? Is he demanding? Is he organizing everything that's in front of him, even though he's not going to be getting a lot of shots? So there's certain things that he's got to contribute today in order to get noticed.
All right, well, let's take a look at the starting 11 for Cuba. We've said before, they're already a depleted lineup here, brought to you by GE. You can see 4 subs on the bench, and then they have 2 goalkeepers there. So not getting a lot of help. 4 players have defected. 2 are suspended. Now, Canada has faced Cuba 14 times. They do own 9 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. Their last loss to Cuba, you got to go back to 2003, the Gold Cup then. Well, called up for the 4th time by John Herdman, Dominic Zator finally earned his first cap for Canada. We sit down with the defender next on One Soccer as you continue to watch Matchday Live, brought to you by CIBC.
Big trophies are exactly what these players are after. This is a big moment.
This is ours.
An opportunity at the highest stage. Oh, it's beautiful. Looks in a dangerous ball, and there's DK. The expectation, anticipation.
The Concacaf Gold Cup takes the stage.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
It looks like we're headed towards
and many people's dreams of owning a home.
What's keeping you up at night?
I'm kind of stressed about my money situation.
Oof, it's stressful to talk about.
Oscar, come here.
Here's your financial stress companion.
She definitely helps. It's never too late to start.
Good portfolio.
With saving for my first down payment.
At Toyota, our lineup of electrified vehicles is always growing. We're evolving the ways we move so that every Canadian has a choice towards a more sustainable future. One that includes the all-new, all-electric Toyota VZ4X. Because every electrified vehicle we build at Toyota brings us all closer to a better future.
Life's better with extra space. Space for family. Space for memories. Space for you. Try 4 weeks free. Access Storage, proud partner of Canada Soccer.
Well, of the 7 new faces that have been called into the competition, only 2 have yet to play. Goalkeeper Tom McGill, midfielder Victor Latourie, who are both in camp for Nations League final. Dominic Zator played 1 minute against Guadeloupe, but you know what? That 1 minute so far has meant that all his hard work has been worth it.
The battle to get to this point, there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I'm fortunate every time I've come to the camp. But yeah, I mean, when I get my chance to put on the jersey and step on that field, it'll mean everything.
A product of Cavalry FC in the Canadian Premier League to York United in the Canadian Premier League to making his international debut. Welcome to the Canadian men's national team, Dominic Zator.
No, it's been fantastic. I mean, it's an honor every time to be here. So just kind of keep plugging away, doing everything I can to help the team out, and just kind of waiting for my opportunity and make the most of it. I felt like I was prepared. I think I learned a lot being over in Poland, so it was a good level, and that really did help me when I joined the national team to kind of show my abilities and kind of fit in quite well. So I think it did help quite a lot from Poland making that transition. I just wanted to go in there and do everything I can to fight and get onto the starting lineup. It just worked out that when I went out there, it seemed like I was able to fit in right away, and we're winning games, and when you're starting to win games and you're on a roll, things kind of seem a little bit easier. And yeah, I'm happy that the fans are fond of me, and everything kind of worked out, and I'm happy to have played there. I'd say maybe the competition, the speed of the game, because it's a lot of unknowns. So I think playing against like a lot of new opponents, different stadiums, and just kind of adjusting to all of that as well, like being able to learn in that short period of time, I was able to transition into the national team and just kind of take everything I've learned and try to bring it into this. He's a great coach. He's very tactical. He does a lot of his homework and really tries to dig that into the players and make sure everybody understands their roles. So that's one of the things, just trying to learn. It's a new, eager squad. So there's opportunities for people to kind of step up, showcase their abilities, and make the most of their time. So that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. Get onto the field, then just make the most of it.
CPL, Poland national team, the Zator fan club travels with him. Yes, his wife Megan, she usually, as we know, is in the head-to-toe leotard, waving the big Zator head. They follow him everywhere he goes, and we know that it was very emotional for them to see him make his debut for Canada. And I know, Jordan, you were very excited when you saw a fellow CPLer get onto the pitch, but we have to call a spade a spade. He's probably going to want that debut back.
Yeah, for sure. You get subbed on, you know that you're this close to getting the 3 points and a win. And then it's just a defender's nightmare, right? You know that you're in a position to block a shot or a cross, and he does that, kind of turns a bit, but goes through the legs, and that's the worst thing ever. You almost want it to go around you. When it goes through you, it sucks, and then it was just an own goal. So yes, I'm hoping that the next time that he gets on the pitch, that's just more of a positive moment for him.
But here's the thing. Are you surprised, Jimmy, that we haven't seen more of these new faces in the squad, given that we expected to see that just based on all the superstars in particular missing? Then just before the tournament starts, Stefan Eustáquio out of Cuba, they end up leaving as well. We know that there are new faces there. We know this is a chance as well for Herdman to test his depth. Are you surprised we just haven't seen more?
Not really. I think if they won the first 2 games and we were sitting on 6 points, I think you'd see all of these younger guys be getting their debuts and playing a lot more minutes than what they have done. Simply because we've drew the first 2 games. This game means so much. You've got to still rely on those older players. But it would be nice to see some of them get a few more minutes, simply because of the fact you want to be able to see if these players can handle international football. And if they're not getting the opportunities, and when all you're really doing is watching them training, but at the end of the day, it's all about playing games. So there's got to be some point where these guys are going to get more than 2 minutes here or 10 minutes there. They need a full match under their belts to really see if they can survive in international football. Yeah, you can see it's clear with Herdman. He's going to live or die by the guys he knows and trusts. And I think with new players, you develop that trust with a manager, and the only way that happens is through time and playing. And sometimes playing at your best and then not playing at your best, and then maybe a manager talks to you and brings you back up. But that relationship is hard to have in a tournament where you must win. So you can see Herdman's relying on the guys that he knows.
I feel like sometimes this can be like the chicken or the egg whenever I talk to athletes, because they say they want to get more playing time. But the coach says, well, you got to be better. And he's like, well, how can I be better if I'm not getting more playing time? He's like, well, be better in training. Yeah, but training's not the actual game. Like, it's just, you're just going around and around and around, because we know John Herdman really relies on what he sees in training. Is that how these, new faces, I don't necessarily want to call them all young players, because a lot of them are in their, mid to late 20s, but how do these new faces get his attention if they're not getting in a game?
Well, look, you've got to show up to training every single day, and you've got to put a shift out in training. Because it does go a long way, but it's difficult as well at the same times, because, and Jordan, you'll know this, you've played with players who were terrible trainers, but come 3 o'clock on a Saturday, they were ridiculous on the pitch. Like, it was nuts.
Yeah.
And then you got other guys who were the best trainers in the world, and then you put them on a pitch during game time, and they go missing. So it's trying to find that balance. Yes, you need that work rate in training. You need that individual that's going to put a shift in every single day. But at the end of the day, it's about playing football matches, and you need to see people play 90 minutes.
Yeah. I think also, too, Andy, it's a hybrid. Like, yes, you have to treat training like matches. If you're a defender, you got to get stuck in, show that you're no nonsense and that you're ready to commit, bleed, give it all for your team. But I think when you get those chances, those moments, whether it be a 2 minutes in a match, you got to make the best of those 2 minutes. You got to show that this is not above my level. I belong here. If not, I can add something different than the next man.
Jimmy nails our rehearsals. Then we go to air. Hey, guys, it's okay. I see a little bit of blue in the sky. Looks like Mother Nature will cooperate. After all the fans are filing in now. It's Canada-Cuba final group stage game. Must win for Les Rouges. Stay with us here on One Soccer.
This match is brought to you by CIBC, Canada Soccer's lead partner.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of ultimate chicken sausages and hot dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
I do this for my town, my time, my time. None of you people can tell me this.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
This is ours.
Esto es nuestro.
Big trophies are exactly what these players are after.
An opportunity at the highest stage.
Life's better with extra space. Space for family. Space for memories. Space for you. Try 4 weeks free. Access Storage, proud partner of Canada Soccer.
Getting ready for kickoff in Houston. It's Canada taking on Cuba. We know the Cubans are already out of the tournament. No wins. The Canadians with 2 draws need a win here tonight to advance. And just for insurance, score 2 or more goals. Andy, Jimmy, Jordan with you here. So on paper, in theory, even in reality, Canada should be winning this game. So I'm going to play a little bit of a prediction game. Come halftime, what do you expect the score to be?
2-0.
Okay, and if it's not?
Then we're struggling.
Oh, okay.
I think 1-0 is fine. I'll take 1.
You'll take 1-0?
0-0? Hands are shaking.
A little bit, come halftime.
You got to score.
Listen, if we're not 2-3-0 up at halftime, then there's got to be an issue. You're playing against a Cuban squad who's got a depleted squad. I even think they have their physio getting dressed today. Like, I mean,
They have four on the bench,
yeah,
that's it.
We have to be on it. And by the sounds of it, this Canadian squad, they seem up for it. They're ready for this challenge. And now it's up to them to go out and put on a show today. And they've changed the formation as well, so we expect an awful lot of them.
And as much as we've talked about the new faces, I mean, it's still heavy with the veterans in this lineup, too. Jimmy, we'll look forward to your call on this one. We'll return here on One Soccer. Okay, so it went from being all like, watch out, rain, severe weather, to the sun has now come beating down on their heads. But that's A-okay, because that means no weather delay here. We'll get you ready for kickoff next on One Soccer. Canada men's national team on One Soccer is brought to you by the Toyota Corolla family.
At Toyota, our lineup of electrified vehicles is always growing. We're evolving the ways we move so that every Canadian has a choice towards a more sustainable future. One that includes the all-new, all-electric Toyota VZ4X. Because every electrified vehicle we build at Toyota brings us all closer to a better future.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
Think you've seen tough? You've seen nothing. When you're absolutely drenched and still take the final shot? Not even a challenge. Playing extra time under the beating hot sun. Hardly sweating. When the wind's so chilling it cuts to the bone? Now we're getting somewhere. Playing in Canada's tough. We're not sorry about it. Want to beat us? Come on. We're made for this.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
Players getting set to take to the pitch in Houston. It's Canada, Cuba, moments away from kickoff. And Jordan, you know, we've been talking a lot about the new faces, but at the end of the day, very little rotation for John Herdman. A lot of the veterans have been playing. How much do they just need to step up tonight?
This is the time. You had 2 games to get warm, to get acclimated or reacclimated with each other, but now this is it. Do or die. Win or go home. So this is the moment that the vets need to step up and see what they're made of.
X factors, who has what that you want to see?
Look, for me, when I was playing, the X factor that I could always bring was that my determination and how I saw the game. But you're looking at X factor for Richie Larea, there's no one on this pitch that's better 1v1. Oso, technical in and around the box. Cava, he's a beast in and around the area. Hoylett can just do something different that most players can't do. Whatever your X factor is, as a Canadian today, you need to show it. Whoever that may be, make sure it's present, make sure that we can all see it. I feel that if they do that, this is a 3-4-0 win.
Hoylett, the captain for tonight's match. Mother Nature, she has cleared the clouds away. You can see the sun coming down. Little bit muggy conditions, but the Canadians already knew they'd have to fight the weather. Now they just have to fight off Cuba. Anthems, game, we'll see you at halftime.
From a Canada Day disappointment to 4th of July festivities, the occasion, a must-win for Canada against Cuba. This is the third and final game in Group D, with Canada in third place, coming off back-to-back draws against Guadeloupe and Guatemala. A win here in Houston, non-negotiable against the bottom team in the group, with Canada still very much alive. So it's two changes.